Hi there, I'm in Las Vegas with Peter. Hi, Peter.
Hey, Martin, how are you, man?
Good.
Good.
How was yesterday?
Yesterday was fun. I got to say, it was actually my first time going to one of your events, and I learned a lot, met a lot of great people, had a great time. So yeah, thank you for putting that on.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your history with Atlassian, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, happy to. So right now we are about to launch a product called Accoil Analytics, which is product engagement for SaaS products, B2B SaaS in particular. But to rewind on that, how I got...
For Atlassian?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay.
So we bought an app that we had actually used as customers about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. Long story made short, they got acquired around the same time that our marketplace app did. And then, so we stopped using them and saw last November that they were actually the product was being sunset by the acquiring company.
Oh, okay. So
we got
they only wanted to, was an acqui-hire?
Kind of an acqui-hire, and then a couple CEOs later, I think, decided to change their strategy.
And said, that's a product.
We got in touch with the original founder, and he said, you guys should make an offer on that. So we did, and here we are. So we're going to launch that soon. We wanted it ready for team, but it came that close. So we're going to launch
Which is actually a good thing. We do see both Atlassian and other people rush out stuff. They say, oh, we got that ready. And then okay, can we touch it? No touching, please. It's just like, there's still some polishing to be done.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, okay, so you don't have it ready, but you had to have it ready for your goals by now. And
So we're not sort of trying to rush through that. We want to make sure that it's nice and buttoned up and a good experience for our first users. So that should launch within the next couple of weeks.
That's the beauty with smaller vendors. They cannot shield away from people coming. Like you'll be also the support person that I can call and say, Peter, didn't you say it's ready? I'm just touching it and it doesn't feel like that.
Well,
can we hop on a call and then say, oh no, I was just tricking you. You can't say that.
I think the going joke that we have right now is, isn't business great when you don't have any customers?
Yeah.
So it's really easy. I don't have to stay up late. I don't have to get up early. There's no support calls at 3 a.m. It's fantastic. So, but of course, I'm looking forward to that part where we do get the customers in, and I'm keen to talk to them over support anyway. So.
Yeah, I had a longer conversation yesterday with other founders that said, oh, I was so surprised that it takes so long. So it's always, didn't you have in our notes of preparation, how is it, Field of Dreams?
The Field of Dreams,
So I'm just going to build something, and then they all come and they love it. And
would you agree that it kind of used to be that way on the marketplace in particular?
First, I think it's a very good story that fits the status quo. So you cannot just come with any product and expect that you'll rise to the stars. Was that different a couple of years ago? I have no idea. So for example, we built Lynchpin, and we came to San Jose or San Francisco, I don't know, where it was still Atlassian Summit. I thought, oh, everyone's going to love it. We put so much effort in such a great product. I was only hustling. It was like cold calling people. And Lynchpin is still, although the cloud is raining, and Lynchpin is only available for DC, so we have Mantra as a cloud internet, and it's reaping at 8 million euros in revenues a year, which is a cool product. It's pretty profitable for us, and so, yes, the Field of Dreams or whatever, like it came, but it felt like a lot of work in the beginning.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's just like the trap of hindsight. You say, it was
easier. Yeah.
But probably what you can say is it wasn't as crowded, so it must have been easier. That should be true.
That's a big change, isn't it? Now that the marketplace has gotten way more crowded, and you're seeing a lot of competition that comes in. I don't know if undercutting is the right word, but similar apps prices at one-tenth of the price.
Today,
and it's hard to combat that.
Yeah.
And some of them are good quality too. That's the thing, that it's not just cheap alternatives. It's less expensive, but similar quality.
So in some situations, we see other copying our stuff, and in other situations, I think that we're like following ideas that others have set out, and and maybe all of you that experience that, if you are being copied, it's always oh, asshole. They're doing that. That's my idea. Right? You can't just...
like, how dare
and
you?
Then, but on the other hand, if you're kind of copying what others do, so, oh, shit, doesn't work. So people don't pick up on that. And it's, I think the building of products is this constant frustration of you build it, you think it's awesome, then reality kicks in, you say, oh, maybe it's good, maybe it's helping, but awesome is obviously somewhere else. So, how was that for you with Proforma and ThinkTilt?
So I
was it straight away and always?
Yeah, it felt great. Well, once I joined, obviously everything went really well. Yeah, of course. Well, I came from outside of the marketplace and joined a team at ThinkTilt that had been building for maybe 2 or 3 years prior to that and had gotten traction already. So it wasn't like a brand new product when I picked up and joined the team. But I wouldn't say it was Field of Dreams for us either. It was a lot of work trying to figure out what the messaging was, and then the use cases in particular. For us, that's how we really figured out where we belonged in the market and how we could actually sell it, was talking at that level. Where do we fit in the workflow? But that took a lot of phone calls, a lot of time on support. The whole company did support to kind of tease that out, so everyone understood.
We forced our developers to do support.
Good.
There's really no compromises on that.
And it's so worth it. And I tell people that all the time. Like, if you hire for marketing, put them on support. The fastest way to learn.
Like the biggest challenge that I see with our products and that I hear from others is getting in contact with customers.
Oh yeah.
So if someone tells me, oh, you can outsource your support to us in Brazil. No. I want to embrace every single customer that comes here.
Well, you're outsourcing that customer contact, aren't you?
All those I'm going to give them a foot massage, whatever they want, as long as they talk to me about their product. And
have you done that? I want to know now. Have you actually? How many foot massages have you given?
I would definitely be ready to walk the extra mile. But I'm standing here with you recording videos because I think everyone has to contribute. It's not at least in my opinion, all things that tend toward hierarchies and people telling other people what to do is flawed in a world that is becoming more and more complex. So the question is not who can do that cheaper or who can do more of that. But the question, especially in the marketplace environment that we are, is what's the right thing to do? What is right in the first place? Because I can tell you all the things that we've done in the last year that were all wrong.
Right.
And that's probably 80% of the things that we've done. And so if you told me before, like, do those 20%, I could have sitting in the sun and be in the exact same situation now. And like, getting rid of this waste is a task that needs a lot of experience, it needs a lot of skills, and mostly those people that have the most experience and the most skills are those people that can tell other people what to do. And it's a trap, in my opinion.
So if you're looking back on the last year, let's say, like, now I'm asking selfishly, like, what worked and what didn't? And do you think that there's something that you can take forward to, say, get better at that 80-20 mix? Like, how do you...
I can.
How do you change the way that you approach that?
I'm going to trade this for the same question to you later. Something that we've seen that is working for us and that has maybe not transformed but changed how we work is, I think in general you would call it account-based marketing. So you go back from this, this is this target group and people fit into this box, and if they fit into this box, then I'm going to do this and that. Which is okay as an approach, but if you have so little real contact to people, as we have, and I would love it would be different, but it's the same for all products that we have. It's the same for the very, very big products and for the smaller products. If you put it in relation, like the amount of installations that you need to get a real contact with a person behind that is willing to talk to you is pretty similar. And so we try to focus on those people. It may sound shallow, but it's what? It's you have to stand up early to accommodate their time zone.
Yes,
you have to prepare so that you know what business they are in. You have to do some research to understand what the use cases are that your product will fulfill for this specific customer.
Yep.
And if you're doing all that, sometimes the customer just doesn't appear. I say, holy shit, why did I waste all that money? Or time, and which translates into money. But if they appear, and you have this talk, they hear, oh, you're well prepared. You know what I need.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're reading my needs from my lips. And in a lot of cases, as a vendor, you often know better than the customer what they want, because you already have talked to 10 of those.
Yeah.
And you can guess a lot of stuff, and then you only validate. Is that something that sticks with you? No, okay, let me try something else.
Yeah.
And then if all those, let's say 10 ideas that you have where your product can strive don't stick, it's probably also a good idea to say, thanks for talking, but I think
not a good fit.
Maybe you want to use a different product.
Yeah.
Something else.
So what I'm hearing is that sounds like, so there's the account-based marketing side where you get to that phone call, but then it's a sales call, right? And I've found in having a lot of conversations with a lot of marketplace partners that are, more engineering-led, let's say.
I'll demo the features to you.
Sorry?
Then,
I'll
demo the features, and then you have to make the translation to what the use case is.
And maybe they don't want to talk to people, and that's kind of the thing that's actually where I find a lot of the partners that I've spoken to kind of struggle, is that I want to build. I want to build things. I don't necessarily want to talk to people.
But I think we have the same product then. Like, as far as I understand, you're helping those founders to get in contact with those people and maybe also take over some of that, or at least coach them how to do it?
Oh, we had been. So we're actually sort of winding down that consulting side of things.
So you're not doing that anymore.
We're just going full.
So you all come to us, please.
Yeah.
So I thought we were competing on that. So please send all these people to us.
Yeah. No, so we're not doing that anymore. We're focusing solely on the product now, which is great, but it's also, shameless plug here, but meant to help teams find those accounts.
So Accoil Analytics is your go-to focus area, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, going on. We've not done a very good job of making that known, but that's partly why we're here. So
yeah, I was watching all your awesome YouTube tips on how I can improve as a marketplace vendor. I was always like, you know Chris Cook, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, I've been talking to him, oh, this is shallow. Peter is shallow. I know all this stuff. I said, you're not the target group.
No.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you actually learned anything from it.
But I want to learn, and give me more, Peter. And then I watched it all, and I did learn a couple of things.
Oh, good. At
and
least
I did what I think the most value that I got out of those videos, and I recommend you to watching them. It's good to understand better who Peter is, and it's also very relatable. It's content.
The idea was to help the maybe newer partners, but also the partners that haven't spent so much time on that selling front, being customer focused, getting on support, and driving really we talked about this before, right? Support is how you get in touch with your customers, and there's often this sort of reluctance to do that too. It's like
just get it done.
We want fewer tickets, or it's transactional. And we got them out the door and done. When you're missing this opportunity to actually talk to people, and so that's. I'm not telling you anything you don't know there, right? So, but it was the audience we were talking to was more just. They're not that sort of extroverted. They don't necessarily go out and try to bring people to them.
Are you ready to tell a little bit more about your experience there? So why were you winding that down? Is it just more attractive, or is the investment so high so that you have to focus on that now?
You mean focusing on the product?
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're not, because I think there's a big demand. So yesterday we had this venture talk about Seibert Media helping ventures, especially with marketing support.
Yeah.
And I didn't experience that. Like, there were 5 founders of significant marketplace vendors that came to me and said, "Oh, I'm interested in it."
Yeah.
And the first thing I told them is, "Do you know it's like a marriage?
Yeah,
it's not a for pay service that we offer. So you're coming in, and it's like a marriage. So we want to think about that first, and so on." I said, "Yeah, I understood that. That came across loud and clear."
Yeah.
And so okay, so there must be a big need. So I'm even more surprised that you say, oh, we're not going to do that anymore?
I think for us, it's what scales better, really, and a matter of just time. Personally, yes, you can go out, you can work directly with people, but it is, it takes more time. It doesn't scale,
and that's why we don't offer it for pay, because it's just like, in my opinion, what you can do, and also Kate is your co-host in this podcast, right? Is invaluable. It's like the power of good consulting is limitless. The problem is good consulting is very rare.
And honestly, like we weren't cheap, and I think that was the biggest hurdle that we came across was the price tag was too high. And I think maybe we might have priced ourselves out of the market, and maybe subconsciously, intentionally. How much of this do we really want to be doing? The idea was always to build a product again. And so we're actually just turning that same stuff, that experience back, putting it behind our own products, which is a bit, it's not that I don't enjoy working with other people, but it's a bit more fun to build your own thing. Yeah. And I think that's where I really like your model, because everyone's invested in it. And I found with consulting, I used to work for big consulting companies, and the consultants are the first ones to be blamed for problems, and if things don't work. And then something that we ran into,
and you don't have a real responsibility also
for authority, right? Yeah. And that is something that we ran into a few times, where our advice was not necessarily listened to, and you think, well, okay, but why are we here? If you're not going to listen to us, what are we doing here? And why are you paying the invoice? And it's just this ethical dilemma almost of like, we probably shouldn't be taking your money if you're just going to say no to what we recommend. So, that's kind of why we're winding that down, but also trying to spin up the products and really focus our energies there.
Well, maybe you're still searching for investors. Tell us a little bit about Accoil Analytics. What is it?
So it's product engagement analytics. So right now,
that sounds like a generic term that
it is. It does.
So it's Google Analytics in different.
Yeah. So this is really focused on products, and I know it's a broad sort of category to put ourselves in. And right now, the way that we see the market is that there are a lot of tools out there that you can use for analytics, but they are a bit of a black box. They're complicated. They don't really cater to business teams, so sales, marketing, support, customer success. We find that some of those bigger tools are just really complicated, and once a team adopts them, you might get one or two teams using them to pull some good data out, but then in talking to customers, just doing some research, something that we hear from teams like partner management or customer success is like, I don't want to touch it. It's too complicated. I don't want to learn that. I don't have time to learn that. So what Accoil is actually really user-friendly for non-technical people that can go in and build their own custom scoring profiles for how people are engaging with the apps. So if you're in sales and you want to know when an account, so you talk about account-based marketing, this is one of these really strong signals that you can see. Let's call it maybe Apple's looking at your product, and you can see that there's however many Apple users are in there, how engaged they are, and how activated they are, and you set those scores, so you know your product better than anyone else, so you kind of determine what's the happy path. And then if you're in sales, you know when to reach out.
Atlassian specific?
Not yet, no. So we have plans.
What can I do to make this more Atlassian specific?
Oh, we're already.
So you're here.
We're already thinking that way. Don't worry. Yeah, the plan is to actually get back onto the marketplace. We're right now just looking at ways that we can. It's basically which Jira do we integrate with first? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Because we see use cases for product teams. We see use cases for engineers to see what impact their work is actually having on the product. Also on support. So if you're answering support tickets and you can see exactly how not just an account is using your tool, but this particular person that's opened a ticket has been engaging with your product, you can almost see and predict what they're going to come to you with. You can see where they get stuck. You can see where maybe they fell off with engagement, and have that ready when the ticket pops up. So that's one of the areas that we're thinking about moving into.
Can I see the product already, or are you still building it? So you said you're like not.
We haven't. So right now it's a standalone app. So you can in a couple of weeks should be able to go out and buy it just as a standalone product, not integrated with Jira yet. Right now it pipes data to HubSpot and Intercom and Slack, with a lot more integrations that are going to come out soon. So Jira's on the roadmap, but I don't have a timeline on that, unfortunately, for this for this conversation. But yeah, that's the idea. We really like the Atlassian marketplace and like the ecosystem, and it's fun being here. So we figure we know the space, let's go and get back into it.
Yeah. It's you're welcome. Whenever you have something that's lesson specific, I'll be very interested. If it's not lesson specific, you probably have known of
Lose interest.
amplitude and post hoc and Accoil Analytics and all these things that come to my mind where I think, oh, I know these platforms, and we should be using them. We should exploit everything that they have, and we're only using like this tiny fraction of their features.
That's right.
So do I need another software that Peter brings just to pile up on top? So maybe I should start with that because it's so much more value. But I would rather learn how to exploit the opportunity we have instead of getting another tool.
Oh, 100%. And I totally get that. And I think one of the things that we're looking at is what does a tech stack actually look like? And right now we're focused more on go-to-market teams, but what does a tech stack look like, and where does Accoil fit into that? And if you look at some sizable companies, they will have HubSpot, they'll have Intercom, they'll have an Amplitude, they'll also have other tools that have all these cross.
And uses a scoring thing as well, or?
Ours, Accoil, yes. So it's engagement scoring, and you set basically just simple sliders that based on events in the app. So in your product, that you would then feed through Segment into Accoil, and then you can kind of just pick and choose the events that you want to score that you want to score off of, and set weights, and then it does all the good hard work for you, and then can pipe that whatever metrics you want to track can go to HubSpot.
Sounds very interesting. I've started. HubSpot has a similar feature where you can give points for something, and then they calculate a score for you. Started that, and then I don't know. I would say it's somewhere in due to inception where you're in the limbo and nothing happens for 100 years, and I think it's down there.
It's
somewhere.
down there. Yeah. Are you still paying for it? That's
absolutely.
The question.
I'm still paying.
So that's one of the things that I've had this conversation with a few people now is, should HubSpot reach out to you and ask you about that?
That I'm using that and
paying for it, but maybe not getting all the value that you could. So.
They would need to talk a lot of things about me. So we've started so many things in HubSpot and then not really finished that. Yes, the answer is theoretically yes, but I'm just learning that Atlassian is attaching more and more solution partners to deals that they get. So obviously, a lot of customers come to us directly and say, can you help us? And obviously we help them. But it's also happening that Atlassian gets approached, and then they could sell the license directly. But they do less and less often, and there's a technical partner attachment rate or solution partner attachment rate, and that rose significantly over the last years. And so yes, HubSpot should attach someone that knows me and helps me for everything. And we actually have such a person reaching out to me. Actually, the outreach is very generic, so it's borderline spam. I know the person, so I don't perceive it as spam, but what she's writing is a boilerplate email. So I think, no.
Not engaging with that.
When I engage with you, you'll show me a couple of slides that someone else somewhere in Boston has created. That's not going to help me.
So that's one of the things that we're trying to figure out, is that can we help solve a problem like that, where like what's the right time to reach out, and then how you reach out is kind of not something that we can help you with, but it's more on the timing front. What would be a good time to reach out to you if you can watch engagement data with the product? I mean, that's all we're talking here. There's other signals that you can bring in, of course, like website visits and all that sort of stuff, but we're just talking products. How do you time that outreach to you that would actually make sense? Maybe you've logged in or you've done a few things and then fallen off again. Is that a good time? And I think that there's a lot that companies can do about. I think personalization kind of can either go too far or not far enough, right? And if it's boilerplate stuff with no personality to it and no personalization to it, I wouldn't open it either. So I think there's still a lot that we can all be doing better on that front.
Yeah, cool. This video is to make you shine and help you sell what you want to sell. What's the call to action that you would want to bring up. So watch out for Accoil Analytics and check it out once it's out, or?
Yeah, well, I'd say just go to accoil.com right now, and that's accoil.com.
Or just like look at the shirt.
Yeah, I can turn around if you want. I got it on the back, but yeah, no.
Totally. We were all both saying, okay, product analytics for more conversations and less churn.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
also
way.
have a good bag.
I like yours. I need a hockey jersey.
To wrap it up, shifting gears again.
Yep.
I'm a marketplace partner. I want this one tip that Peter can give me, maybe something from the videos, or where you think, oh, this is like a big gap that people have to close.
I think like the one thing that I constantly harp on is we've already talked about it, just get more support tickets in. And people fight me on that, but I think if you can nudge your customers to contact you any way possible, because you see billing contacts and technical contacts who often don't know that you exist or care. So that's not the person that you want to engage with. You want to engage with your end users, the admins that take care of your product once it's in an instance. So I think just encouraging customers to come to you with any kind of support question, just start a conversation. And that's really, to me, I think where a lot of companies could start to see a lot more engagement with their customers and start to take the product in a better path, perhaps, just more profitable path too. They know what the customers want. So more support tickets, that's my big advice.
Peter, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Martin.
Bye.